better for this. Let me see if it's better if I put this light on. Yeah, there we go. What's up, my people? Welcome to Exploring the Ka. My name, of course, is Rock Castaldo, and we are here live. It's September 6th. And we are about to kick off an amazing session. What's up, everybody in the chat room? Vibe with me. Everybody, you can support me in the super chat. Keep this train rolling. Even $2 helps out and supports. I basically have made a choice recently, if you haven't heard, to follow my spiritual calling, if you want to say, at least my spirit screaming for me to do what I love and what my mission is. And I think that's everybody's ultimate goal, is to do what they're truly love for a living and for a life's mission and life's purpose. And I've risked it all to follow this path. And because the job I was doing all day for a long period of time was completely draining me to the point where I couldn't use my abilities efficiently, and I was getting worn out in every sort of way. Good. Vibe with me. Thank you for showing some love. Thank you for showing some support. Since I've been, well, you know, I have a young child as well, family, so I can't do 100% of my time researching. But if you see my thank God for my wife, because she puts up with a lot. She takes care of the baby amazing, because I'm always, I mean, I have the baby with me a lot, and I'm playing with the baby, and I'm involved with taking care of the baby as well. But you know, I have always some foot in research. Because my experiences, my visions have been so intense. My mission has been so intense that I try to find things in the past, in literature, in other people's research and experiences, to link up with mine, so we can do some dot connecting, so we can figure this out. And I think the reason why it's so important and why I've chose to do this, it's kind of last minute too, is because now this next year or so is one of the most important years ever to exist on this planet. We're at the big time change, and it's going to be a new world that rises. I've been saying it for a long time, and it's coming. It's over the next 5 years is going to be the most important 5 years that you're ever going to have on this planet. And I truly believe that. So today I'm going to relay some of my, not only ancestral knowledge, but knowledge that I've received in the halls of our consciousness. If you want to say, like the ancient Egyptians say, the halls of Amenti. These are your higher dimensional brain and your network that you think in, that your spirit travels in, your aura is involved in, your other layers of who you are, the coats around you. Now, first, let me say what's up to people in the chat room too. Samuel A-Step, vibe with me. Thank you for showing some love. Lisa, I know Mika's in there somewhere. Everybody out there, you can find me at themysticalspiral.com is my website. Patreon.com/themysticalspiral with daily info up there. Daily, you basically, I relay what I'm researching throughout the day, throughout the, you know, what I'm writing about in my books, my comic books, certain visions I have. You guys get you're on the ground. You're right there, right on the ground, home base, getting my firsthand knowledge that I receive. And what's up? Duck Sauce is in the house. What's up, buddy? Slap some of that sauce on that. What's up, everybody? And of course, I got the Akita pyramid going. Boom. The Nubian zombie slayer. You know what's even powerful? This little guy. This little guy is very powerful. I got a tensor ring on top too, but this little guy that Misaki made is as well very powerful. This little Giza. This one has, I think, this is a gold Giza, the real gold Giza. Has some gold in there. Now, I want to talk to you guys about a very, very intriguing, very important topic that most people don't even realize what they are, who they are, what this is. And I'm not trying to say I have the answers, but I'm trying to give you guys an explanation of what I've witnessed and what I feel and what my ancestors felt and they've passed on about our higher dimensional network and our psyche and consciousness and what actually resides in there and what actually we're tapping into and what can affect us and what has corrupted us and what's upon us and what we're dealing with and why people need to understand is that you can equal it to us being in some sort of earth experiment. It's meant for us to align the duality on our planet again. And we're in this experiment. And there were certain creations within this matrix system between our physical reality and the other higher dimensional realities. There are ways off of this realm. There are dimensional gateways, right? There are, if you want to say stargates, portals, energy spots that are access points to this realm in and out. That I think everybody can almost agree with, right? That even is researching any of these topics or have had spiritual experience or had witnessed anything, even if they think they're witnessing a ghost, you're thinking that the ghost is literally coming from another realm into ours, right? Or it's lingering in this physical realm in some sort of spiritual capacity. So you have to think that some other sort of life exists, right? So what we call the Grigori or the Watchers or fallen angels or archangels, they're the best way I could describe it. I want to talk about what these beings are, what these encoded, they're basically codes, firewalls, defense codes, activation codes that guard dimensional gateways, certain technologies that you would call magic, spiritual technologies that you would call magic, like magic circles. When you cast a magic circle, these beings are present. They get activated as soon as you cast a circle. They're there. Trust me, they're there. The only way that you can successfully create magic or that sort of spiritual technology, if you want to call it, is if you have some sort of interface with these beings or these holographic codes within your psyche that get activated through the very scent as soon as you take out your magic tools. The very aroma of the past awakens them and they come. They're around you. They swarm. They're there. Now, good or bad, they're there. And good or bad, you have to interface with these beings to do any sort of spiritual technology, like casting magic circles or accessing portals. Any sort of dimensional gateway, they are there. They are watching, and they are giving you access to and fro if you access some sort of dimensional gateway. They allowed it to happen. Now, from what I feel, from what I understand, is there a lot of buffering going on for Samuel Estep? Firestorms in the house too. You got one person in the chat room that got a lot of buffering going on. So let me guys know if I'm coming in clear on your end. Oh, everybody else is clear? I think it's just you, Sam. Samuel Estep. Estep. I think it's just you, buddy. Maybe come back in. Zeralath is in the house as well. What's up, Steve? Zeralath. What's up, buddy? Samuel Estep. Duck Sauce. My baby Mika. Meg's in the house. What's up, Meg? Firestorm. Jessica Lynn is in the house. What's up, Jessica? Connection's good there. Oh, everybody's in the house. Thanks, Meg. Everybody. It seems like everybody's clear. Sam, maybe you should back out and come back in. Duck Sauce is good. Yeah, well, these beings you will see in the tunnel. Down the tunnel even. And I had a vision one time, and maybe I should clear it up a little bit, because it's one of the only videos I've ever done that has more than like 1 or 2 dislikes, actually. And I don't really care about it, but it does, you do notice is if people thumb down stuff, and you wonder what was it, because a lot of times it'll be like one thumb down on all the videos, and it's like, is that one person having a resentment for me for over something, or they don't like me for something? But so you wonder sometimes. But I don't know, when it's on a bigger scale, I don't think people even notice it, because there's like millions and I've had some videos that have 300,000 views when I was on certain shows. And I don't look at the thumbs ups and thumbs down on that amount. But when it's a small knit of people, and it's mostly the same people watching your stuff, you see a high number of thumbs down that you don't usually see. You wonder why. What was going on in that video? Did you strike a nerve in people, or was it just bad content, or what? So one of the videos that had like some negative comments, or some people were confused, is a video one time that I did. I said it has a lot, one of my most views too, ironically, but it was I think the title is "A Time I Saw Enki Semyaza," and its name is Mott, or something like that, which I just used the name for the same holographic entity that's the leader, supposedly, and I think it's one of the generals of these protectors, these ancient codes, defense codes for our higher dimensional brain. And they were created a long time ago by either the Council of 9 creator gods, if you want to say. They were made by the ultimate source, God, if you want to say, the one that's created, that's in everything that's in our existence, that's it's in the fabric of everything. And I do think we were formed by one creator God that created a council of beings to fulfill experiments, or to do some sort of experiment type civilizations, and they're like a divine council of beings, or pure energy, if you want to say. And so I don't want to get too off track what I was doing with that. I want to go back to the Grigori for a second, but and these beings are just called the Grigori in my heritage, and sometimes in the Greek, and sometimes in the Book of Enoch you'll find them called that. But you could call them fallen angels, watchers, whatever you want to call them, Draco, whatever you want to call them. They have all sorts of different characteristics. You have feline ones, serpentine ones. You have all different races and hierarchies, even of these beings. They're interdimensional beings. Now there has been all races that have been created from these interdimensional beings, and one of them is the cynocephaly. And we're going to get into that because they are workers, they are warriors, and they are high spiritual content as well. They are like dog apes, dog men apes. They're an ancient force that were hired as workers to build the pyramids and other sacred sites and quarry certain sites. They're miners, and I was shown visions of this in the holographic windows. They're like whole walls that are not screens, they're tablets of hieroglyphics. And when they turn into nothing, they become a vision, like a vision, like you're there, almost like a simulation, and you're witnessing it. And just from one glance at it, you have a knowing of uh, so much. Like you get like a book or two of information from one glance at it, from 1 second, from one peep. And I've had many trips into this, and um, I've chose now to relay a lot of this information. Before I've talked about these topics and touched on them for many years. Um, but I've never revealed some of the stuff that I think it's very important that we get out there now and talk about this now. So eventually we can build a network where we can get these on these sites back online spiritually for our benefit, for our free energy. And then physically we can all go there, because I need to go to these sites sometime soon. Over this next year, I need to get to some of these sites, I feel, and I can help some of these. I've already helped some famous explorers and researchers, and I'm not going to mention names, and geologists and other people find certain things at certain sites where they called me up. It was like, Raw, we are digging over here in the Philippines, or we're doing this over here in South America, or we're doing this. Tell me what you feel in this. Tell me what you see about this site. And they'll just give me like a coordinate or a name, and I'll just sit with it for a second, or they'll just tell me where they are, and I'll or just give me hardly any information, and I can pretty much help them and help them find. We have a cognitive blueprint, is what I'm getting at, all of us. And once you crack that doorway open on top of your head, and it's not just through near-death experiences. I did an ayahuasca ceremony. It was a 3-day ordeal on the Acri River back 15, 16 years ago. It's the only time I've ever done it. No, it's been 16 years ago. It's the only time I've ever done it. It's probably the only time will ever do it. Before that, I had done mushrooms and acid and things like that when I was younger. But I haven't done any psychedelics since then, or any other hard drugs or anything like that. I do smoke weed from time to time, but I haven't done ayahuasca or any hard drug since I took ayahuasca back then. And I've talked about what I saw, what I encountered. So I don't want to go off topic with my ayahuasca trip. I will talk about it. And I appreciated everybody. And I want to do a shout out to not only my patrons that are in the chat room, but also to Yana out there and Susan out there. They were very generous and did some donations the other day. Also, Laureen, Meg, Jessica, all those people that always help out in the chat. This is very important. I've dedicated my life to obtaining this information and to research and to uncovering the truth. And every week when I do my radio show, it's like an energetic outlet for me. All of the information that I've been getting through my research and my experiences, I share with everybody. So it's very important that I have support to keep this train rolling. That's why I chose to do this. Is it's not just to sit here and bullshit about ancient mysteries. That's not everybody likes a good mystery, but our survival is in these mysteries. Our whole future of our genetics is in this ancient history and our ancient spiritual technology that's on our planet, you know. So there has to be someone controlling that has created our higher dimensional matrix. Oh, Zeralath, good love, man. Good looking. You should be getting an envelope in the next couple days. I sent you some little charms from Patreon. You're gonna like them too. And there's another one coming in another week or two. Uh, but so we're in a Earth experiment. You know, we're in a a system that can be activated, and they have a defense system that can be activated, a defense mechanism to lock down these higher dimensional Grigori, these higher dimensional codes, if you want to say, that are watching our dimensional gateways. They're watching magic spells. They're watching spiritual technology. They're guarding this information. They're guarding your auric information. You know, they're watching over. But the thing is, these Grigori, they are not supposed to. They can show spiritual signs out there. They can put little spiritual signs in your way and give you little messages that way, right? The good ones, the ones that are trying to help mankind and are truly doing what they were created for, and that's to watch over the dimensional gateways and the access to the sacred information and to this earth experiment, to and from this realm. But they were never supposed to directly get involved and become in physical matter and interact with our race or mate with our race. Now, these beings chose on separate incursions to use a high-tech spiritual technology, some sort of DNA computer, some sort of arc, to push themselves into matter and come into this realm. The Bible talks about it when it happened on Mount Hermon in Lebanon on the 33rd parallel. These are the Grigori. These are the fallen. These are the watchers. These are the codes that were originally created to guard your higher dimensional brain matrix and the portals that go to and from out of this physical realm and all of the spiritual technology on this planet. That's who these Grigori are. Now, the thing is, when they came into physical matter, our God, our universe, activated some sort of earth defense mechanism, if you want to say, that locked them down in chains. It's written in the Bible. It's written in all the ancient scriptures. So you got to take that as history. You got to take that as fact, right? You can, but still you would want to see. I've witnessed these beings. I've interfaced with these beings most of my life. I've seen these beings. Most of you have encountered these beings and don't even realize it. Most of you have these beings within your psyche and don't even realize it. Some of you access these beings every time you look in the mirror for more than a few seconds and you zone out for a second. They're whispering in your consciousness, all right? They are plaguing humanity. They control the dark ones. They made the dark ones. And then when they came into this physical realm, they found a way to get a vessel, and they are going to do this again. Now, let me give you a little bit of information that you might not have ever realized before, but even in the Bible, it relays the fact that a certain amount of these beings were locked down by God, by the Earth's, this Earth God planet. Every planet is a god, I believe. some sort of creator God with its own system, living, breathing machine. So they're like demigods. And then I believe from my own self that there's one universal God, that it's like one big human, one big massive universal quantum computer, if you want to say, that's controlling everything. But it's not like a computer that we think of. It's just like an omniscient, pure energy that just is. I don't know why. Maybe there's other ones like that in other far off, who knows? But for what I choose to handle, what my brain can only handle from what I witness, is that there's one big force that maybe was just, it just is. It just was. I don't know how it got created. It just is. And it was lonely. And by thought, some sort of all-knowing thought, it was able to manifest something to occupy its time. Something to cultivate and grow, so because this doesn't happen by chance. What we're living in doesn't happen by chance. It's by design. And even in the Bible, they say, like, in the beginning. When you're talking like that, that means someone witnessed the beginning. Someone's there to observe the beginning. So if there was an observer, then someone created it all, right? It wasn't just by some big bang or something, right? So if you want to take the Bible as word, or some of these ancient scriptures as word, and they're talking about how the world was created, then there must have been an observer. There had to have been an observer. So yes, the I Ching is very important, Mika. Even Mika showed me a very cool video with Terrence McKenna, who I've watched many times before. And he basically saying some of the things I'm saying right now, and these energies come around in cycles. They come around over and over again, and we're always dealing with the ancestral energy. But the thing is that there's dimensional gateways, and our higher dimensional brain is now being collapsed. And if we don't fight what's coming over our around us, like another layer, if we don't fight this, then there's going to be big problems. The next year, like I said, is going to be one of the most important years ever on our planet. It's going to be very important for people to choose whether they want to give themselves up to the machine, or they want to take their tribal roots and stand firm like a tribal tree. And we've watched our certain technology accelerate. Our timelines are converging. Now, let me share some information that even in the Bible and in some ancient scriptures, they talk about how when these beings, these Grigori, these fallen, these watchers, these seraphim, these fiery ones, these shiny ones, Zbana Elohim, these beings, these sons of God, when they actually chose to take form in physical matter and disobey the laws of the universe and then mingle with our races, they've created certain races, certain things, and they were locked down, like I said, by this universal earth God system, defense system, and it locked them down in a prison, if you want to say a sub-quadrant of our realm. And even in the Bible, it talks about, I think it says like 70 generations or something like this. I think it's something like that. I forget. Don't quote me on that. I have to go look through my notes or go look it up again. But I think it's in the book of Enoch that it says it, which is in the Ethiopian Bible. It was in the Bible. It was one of the most important books in the Bible for a time, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, the Dead Sea Scrolls is one of the most important finds of the ancient writings. I mean, they have ancient writings there from, I think, like 4th century BC. You know, so when I don't want to lose my place, I forget where I was going with that. I forgot for a second where I was going with that. They basically created all these different, they were locked down for 70 generations, right? I think something like that, 70 generations. Now, if you go according to the Bibles and some of the timelines that we've have throughout history, and from what I've experienced and from what I've seen, some people say it was 1900, around there, where that time was up. And I think it's a possibility that our timeline has been manipulated through certain replicator technology like CERN and other places. And right here in New York, there's an artificial tear. Now, we have natural stargates on our planet, interdimensional gateways that are guarded by these beings, but we also have artificial replicator spiritual technology that can open a tear up in space-time and open a rip in our higher dimensional system, higher dimensional brain, and our higher dimensional system. It can open a space-time rip, and through these hadron colliders and certain particle accelerators or things like this. And in fact, I'm pretty much certain that they've done this in New York at Brookhaven Labs at one point in time. And they did it right on the spot where Area 51 is now, where I think that's exactly where Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard did a lot of their experiments one time before it was even Area 51. And they also did it in like parts of California as well. But I don't want to get too far. I mean, it's all related. It's all interconnected. And I don't know if I'll share it with this one. I've talked about it sometimes in the past that I had literal dream intrusions by L. Ron Hubbard when I was younger, and I didn't even know it was him till I got older and I saw pictures of this man. And I saw him as one time as like almost looking like an astral dragon. He had a ridge, a bulbous ridge over his brow with these long antennae coming out with these bulbs at the end of the antennae. And his nostrils were like dragon flared nostrils. And he had a little bit of a snout, but it was his face and his bald head, like his balding head. And it was a sort of reddish orange, feathery little things around the antennae too. And he had a reddish orange face glow, like fiery red. And his hand was glowing like coal, like hot coal. And I felt such a fear when I saw him in my dream a few times. And then I actually saw him on his deathbed. I had a nightmare when I was a kid in the mid 80s, right around the time probably he died. And I didn't know it was him at the time. I found out later on in life, like I said, when I saw pictures of him. I had a nightmare as a kid where I saw this man dying in bed with all his family or all these people around him. And he was screaming at them, "When I die, you have to burn me as soon as possible. Burn me, like freaking out, screaming that you have to burn me as soon as you can. Like, don't let my corpse like, just burn me. You have to burn me fast. As soon as I die, burn me, like freaking out, like grabbing somebody by their collar while he's laying on his deathbed. He pulled the person close to him and he's screaming in their face, and his friggin' head is all bulbous red, and there's like the veins popping out, and he's screaming, burn me, you better burn me when I die. And it scared me. It woke me out of my dream, and I was scared. It was a frightening nightmare as a kid to see that. And I was around 10 years old or something like that, I think. Maybe a little younger. Um, so it was a frightening dream, a nightmare. Uh, yeah, it's very, very creepy. And I think why the connection is because I have an ancient magical lineage. It's just a fact. It's on all sides of my family. And I have both the light and the dark forces that have been in my ancestral past. I have had tribes of voodoo that have been in my ancestral past, and the Moors. I have part Moor lineage in me, and they were African tribals. I even and I have all from Italy, but they had invaded Italy at one point. I have very ancient lineage from Italy, so there's all sorts of ancient sorcery encoded within my genetic matrix, my genetic whatever you call it, genetic code, genetic encoding, I guess it would. I don't know I'm not a scientist or anything, so if I'm saying the wrong, I'm trying to explain it the best way possible. It's code. We're made out of codes. We're encoded. Just because you see this skin suit don't mean that we don't have some high technology that's inside of us. We are a living, breathing machine. A sentinel, some sort of sentient, sentient living system that's interacting with all these particles and molecules that are making us achieve an evolution and heal a certain bioenergetic system that is truly amazing. We're the most powerful things, and it's truly amazing. So I think not only L. Ron Hubbard, but a lot of these dark sorcerers, they thank you, Lolly Loving. This is your first time. Wow. So people that are seeing me my first time, you can definitely support me in the chat room. But definitely, if this is your first time checking me out, you got to check out my radio show on Saturday nights. It's on Truth Frequency Radio Network. That's tfrlive.com/Eye of Ra. My show is called Eye of Ra. It's from 7 to 9 Eastern on Saturday nights on Truth Frequency Radio Network. My website is the most important. That and my Patreon, because the Patreon, I put literally daily info on there. And not only do I have a shamanism class that you can join, and let me first let people know that there's no crash course in energy work. There's no crash course in shamanism. It should come naturally for most of us to be our own shaman and our own healers, but we've been completely brainwashed and programmed and disconnected. So nowadays, some people need to be reminded of their ancient knowledge within them and been pointing in the right direction. And that's what I have built a foundation from my lineage and from my trials and errors in life. I have fine-tuned a shamanistic, spiritual, energetic energy work start for you to basically understand your aura, other people's aura, your spiritual layers, and how to interact with your bioenergetic system and your other brains. You don't just have this brain, you have your heart center, your gut, and other places. You have other arms. You have your energy arms that come out from your heart center. When you dance with just like this, and you're moving to the vibe of nature, or you're moving to the music or whatever, it's not just your physical arms that start moving. Your energy arms from your heart center start moving. That's why you see Shiva and those gods with all these arms, right? Because they are spiritual beings from a higher dimensional realm, and when they move with the energy like they have 1,000 arms. You know, they're energetic beings. They're pure energy that they can manifest. And I teach people how to find their energetic arms, how to find their other consciousness, how to drop their consciousness, how to interact with plants again, how to interact with trees, crystals, stones, how to interact with the elements, how to call to the wind. So we're gonna do this all. I've already done 2 classes on my shaman class. We're taking it a little slow because I don't want to just bombard people with information and then just week after week. So we're taking it a little slow. Most likely, we're gonna have a class tonight or tomorrow night, uh, depending on what goes on with my daughter. Sometimes she's running around. It's a lot of work. So I get tired running around with her and doing everything that I've been doing. And you know, we only got 1 car for a family. It's like falling apart and everything. So like, it's a lot bringing everybody around and doing everything. And it's a lot of work. I give people a lot of credit out there who have multiple kids, and even single mothers out there that do it, and single fathers, or you know, first time parents, or whatever you are. If you're raising a family and you're looking out for other people besides yourself, man, kudos to you, because most people nowadays only worry about themselves, and they don't ever think about other people. And that's the problem nowadays. People just like, I don't want to repeat myself. I said it the other day, but people don't want to teach or help others learn anymore. They just want to receive information and get out the door. They don't want to do anything else, when they don't realize the interaction with that other person is the real way to learn. You know, otherwise you don't learn how to apply that information correctly. You don't understand what works. Thank you, Lolly Loving. This is my website is mysticalspiral.com. And my Patreon is patreon.com/the mystical spiral. So Joffrey Hudgens, how much? So this is what's up, Joffrey Hudgens, with that. I guarantee you, I will post something on my website tonight to clear it up, because I was going to post it when everything was done with my shaman class as a package. But you know what? Since more people are asking, I'll do something tonight where it's up there. But you could just contact me. My email on my website, themysticalspiral.com. My email is there. It's moontribe712@hotmail. Basically, if you're my patron, if you're on my patron, whether you're well, if you're a patron for more than $100 a month, then I just give it to you for free. There's only one patron I have that pays that. So hopefully we'll get more that where I just give you the class like that, because that comes with the package, right? Or if somebody's been like a $30 patron for a long period of time or something like that, or for many months, then I'll just contact me and I'll give you the classes, you know. So that's part of the package. But for right now, if you're a patron, it's it's a special, like I just said, unless it's a special patron that's been with me a very long time for a higher platform, or it's a high paying patron. For right now, because those people, like I said, that's a special person that they're just it comes with their platform, it comes with their level. That's part of the package. But for right now, for everybody else, it's $79 for patrons, $99 for non-patrons, and it's a total of like 6 or 7 hours of class, of shamanism class. There's already like 3 hours that's recorded. Two sessions. We have 2 sessions that's recorded. So if you buy it now, I email you those 2 sessions, and then you get the link every time we do another class. Like, so you could join the live video. And if you can't join the live video, of course, you get the recording of it. And like I said, there's no crash course in shamanism. There's no crash course in energy work. There's no crash course in being a psychic. We have all of this within us. It's just a matter of finding it again, because of life's choices, programming, abuse, other people's insecurities that they push on you, and all sorts of things in life move you far away and cause what a disaster is. This is like I said before. It's moving a less than, having less knowledge of, or beneath, or moving away from. And an aster is knowledge of the star. So disaster is having no knowledge of your star origins, no knowledge of who you are. You are made of stars. So it's no knowledge of yourself. That's what a disaster is. And the current experiment that we have on our planet, I feel were designed by a council. It's overlooked, I believe, by a council that are part feline and part other beings. There's 9, a council of 9. Others have talked about it. I do think that they are pure energetic beings that have a certain DNA, genetic memory of times that they were very important people within our higher dimensional network. And there was a time that I do believe that they were in our physical realm and have taken form, and they were much, much bigger than we are. And they are stored within certain stones. They are stored. Their information, their genetic memory is stored within certain stones, certain places on our planet, certain living libraries, a living, breathing hall of records that are on our planet. And like I told you, there's a couple of sites that in our world that have these, and I've revealed in the last episode a lot about this. And now I did want to get into a little bit about Saint Benedict later too, and what I've encountered with him and what he released. But I want to first let people know more about these Grigori, because I feel, and that's what mainly this is about, is the halls of Amenti, like I said in the title, which is our hall of records, our higher dimensional system, and access to the information within it. And there's different realms that have been called different things that our spirit, our soul transports to, translates to. Like the Elysian fields or the fields of Josaphat, whatever you choose to call certain things. Oh, vibe with me. Good looks. Is that your second time? Is that again? Oh, good looking out. Thank you so much. I don't know if I don't think you're a patron. If you are a patron, either way, if you want to send me your address, I'll send you a little charm. That's fine. Just email it to us. Thank you so much. So I want to break down to you guys who the Grigori are and why I'm qualified to. Oh, Stephanie. Oh, thank you, Steph. They're already in the mail. I've already sent them to you, but I will definitely send you another one. Yeah, I didn't know it was you, Steph. You should be getting them in a couple days. Actually, I sent them yesterday. I think I messaged you about it. So, of course, if you look anywhere, if you think I'm crazy, that's fine, because I am a little crazy, but I'm a good crazy. There's crazy too. If you want to not take my word for it, look at anywhere in the past. John Dee interacted with these beings. Anytime you activate spiritual technology, you have to interface with these codes, and symbols that activate these beings within your psyche, within your consciousness. Now, once our technology accelerates to a point that they need it to once again, they're going to be able to take physical form again. They will return, and so will their creations that they took off this planet, because they were getting hunted to extinction in certain ways. One of them with a cynocephaly, who we're going to get into. And there's other races as well. The cynocephaly, first of all, are miners. They're high warriors and high builders. And like I said, they helped make, they were hired in a way, more than like forced, but also hired in a way. And they took pride in it, even though it was under like slave labor in a way, if you would think about it. But they're just genetically made to do this work. They were involved with the main Giza pyramid. I think it's the Cheops, or whatever you want to call it, or Thoth, the pyramid of Thoth, or whatever you want to call that main one. It was capped with gold, and it was blue and gold and white. Yeah. And so this race was damn near extinct on our realm. They were moved to another quadrant, another reality, at a slightly different angle than this one. Some of them were even on the moon in a mining colony. There's mining colonies on asteroids that they may be on. Who knows? But they are excellent miners. They will be returning to our realm. They've already returned in some ways. They live beneath the ground in caverns. They don't live in regular homes and things like this. They live in caves. Yes, I am a dream seer. Not just in my dreams do I have visions, but I have visions while I meditate, while I'm driving, while I'm, all day long. I can have it depends. If I'm researching a topic or reading a book, I get information that's not in that book. I get information that's coming to me. It's just part of why I can't stop. Why even when I go into the bathroom, the shower, while the water's heating up, and my wife she'll tell you, I literally have 5 books with me, because I'm looking up something and I'm referencing it in another book and referencing it here and trying to find links. I bring research with me and notebooks with me, so I can jot my thoughts and information that comes to me down everywhere. Like, I've dedicated my whole life to this. When I was working before in the warehouse, I was in charge of like 20 guys and 25 guys, and running around teaching people how to drive forklifts and all types of equipment and stuff like this, high-lows and pallet jacks and all this stuff. I was training people how to drive them and how to use the equipment, and also had to keep tabs on people and help do a lot. I don't want to get into it too much, but I was doing a lot of physical work, walking at least 14 miles a day on concrete in boots. And I would be jotting things down on little pieces of paper all day while I'm getting things coming to me. And oh my God, it was crazy doing that for 10, 15 years. And before that, I was a dispatcher. My dad used to have a little home heating oil company in Westchester. And I was an oil dispatcher. My brother was a truck driver. So I did a lot of odd jobs too. I used to work at the boat docks and sand boats and get them ready for the water. I worked at gas stations before. I did a lot of different jobs in my life, but mostly I always worked a physical job. And it's time, it's time now to dedicate this fully and to get back to our main. No, and to answer your question in the chat room, Lolly Loving, so I guess it's your first time here. I come from an ancient bloodline. I come from a long line of psychics. Even anybody that's associated with. I'm also a certified reverend, and I could do clearings in houses that are possessed. I could do exorcisms. I could do last rites. I have an ancient shamanic lineage, and even some people that are related through me through my shamanic lineage, like Laurie Bruno and other people, they are dream seers and psychics. And we have a very few that are hereditary benindantes or stregas or magas that are left on this planet. Most of them are just they're not. It's not hereditary. It's not passed down over and over. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people just figuring things out for the first time that are spiritually psychic. Well, we're all psychic. It's just a matter of whether you activate it or not within you, or you listen to it. Um, but those that are chosen to do this as a calling, the ones that are it's not hereditary and they're figuring this out for the first time, it's very troublesome, because first of all, they don't have the ancestral background and support to show them the right way. And it could be a scary thing at first for a lot of people. It was even scary for me, even though it was just it's a natural thing. And from my background, it's natural to be psychic. It's a normal human condition. Most people think that's supernatural, but to us, it's natural. That's just a normal way of life. So even though I believed it was a normal way of life, it still was scary to me what certain things happen. So I do come from a background of a long line of psychics, but I wasn't born. Uh, I wasn't born, I guess, woke, if you want to say. I mean, I had experiences when I was 5 years old with certain spiritual beings, different beings within our matrix, our higher dimensional brain. But I didn't start seeing auric fields on people, and I didn't start being what you would call psychic or be open to everything around me the way I am now until I had a near death experience when I was 9. So because you're saying it's the first time you're in the chat room, or first time you heard me today. So you're asking if I was born this way. Well, I was born to be this way. When I was born, I had the call around me, the CAUL. It's like the sack you're born in. And in old school Italian lore and in my family lineage, that's the mark of a seer. That's the mark of a shaman. That's the mark of a psychic, or someone to be born with second sight, or have some sort of spiritual power. So I was born to be this eventually. I had the mark. I was of the fata. I was of the blood. So the people around me, when I was born, it's an old Italian lore. When they saw that, oh my God, he's of the fata. He's born of the fata. Be careful with this one. We got to make sure he grows up okay and he goes to the right side. So there was dark forces trying to get me towards the maledante side, as the benindante in me was cultivated and I was raised to be good. The dark forces were always trying to pull me, and I struggled with it for some time when I was a teenager. It was when I had my near-death experience at 9 years old, they had to operate on me to save my life. And when I awoke on the operating table, right then and there, I had a knowing that if I took certain postures in the mirror, if I did certain hand gestures and certain positions with my arms, and I stood at certain cardinal points, and I did certain things, that I can activate these beings that were around me when I died in my psyche, that I can call to them within my consciousness. It was just a knowing that I had. It wasn't like it was anything. It was just like something that I just knew that was a fact afterwards. It was just like I woke up with that knowledge. And without thinking twice of it, one day when I was in 6th grade or something like this, I was in my bedroom, and I remember I like threw my hood up like I was like about to do some sort of tribal war, and I was standing in the middle of my room. I had incense burning. I had a candle lit. I was just talking to some of my friends on the phone, like listening to Nine Inch Nails or something like that. I was listening to something. I don't know. It was like in sixth grade, so I don't even know if Nine Inch Nails were. Yeah, it was when I think it was Pretty Hate Machine when they first came out. I was listening to something like some sort of dark seduction, right? Some sort of dark seduction. I was lighting candles. I thought I was cool calling girls and calling people from school, right? You think you're just when you're going through puberty, just talking to a girl on the phone is like, oh my God, she's going to be my girlfriend. It's like you get all amped up or something, right? It's ridiculous. But I had that vibe like that night. I remember. And it was just, I lit candles. It was like I was already getting seduced by the dark forces and right there, right? So I remember I lit candles in my room. I had incense burning. I didn't. I usually go out. I was usually going out to dinner on those nights on Friday nights when my mom would go to Chinese food with my parents. It was like a buffet, and purposely stayed home because I wanted to try this. I knew like I was gonna do something. I didn't know what, but I knew I was gonna do something magical. And I even had like spell books that I bought at Barnes and Nobles or some stupid store. And I was going to actually open those spell books and do like a spell or something. I never even did that. What I did was I had the music on, I lit candles. I was on the stupid phone for a little while. I lit incense. And then somehow I just had a knowing that if I did a certain posture, I stood in a certain posture in my room and I was like spinning around in a circle. And then I did a certain hand gesture and put my arms in a certain way. And as soon as I did that, and it's like I stood I did it at like almost like in Muay Thai when you do it to all ends of the ring. I did that like to the north, the east, the south, and the west. I was doing all these different postures, and I literally activated a council of these beings in my psyche, and I heard them. It was like a loud, booming feeling, almost like you feel like God might like talk to you, like there's like thunder, right? So when that thunder came, they came to me almost like they were floating on clouds, and you see them within your mind, and they're talking to you with their eyes. You look into their face, and it's a knowing. Sometimes you'll even see symbols and codes, or some sort of creature. Now, this was something I did not want to mess with after a while, and it's like a drug. Now, these beings were released. These are the Grigori. They were locked down long ago. Their sentence was up in the late 1700s. Now, this is important information that you need to know that I'm relaying to you, that I've obtained. In the late 1700s, these beings were released from their chains, but only within our higher dimensional network, in our spiritual realms. They're waiting to take physical form again. And there is certain technology that's stored within certain sites that they're waiting to activate. They're waiting for our technology to get to a certain point where they're able to either form another body or activate their storage facilities on our planet. Now we need to take this planet back. We can start a free energy grid with these certain sites as well. These sites have already been disturbed. They've already been changed. Mummies have already been disturbed as well. Now, there's a certain 90-ton sarcophagus in ancient Egypt that they found of red granite that they had a massive bull in. This is a very important obelisk that bull is protecting the soul of a pharaoh, that is protecting the soul of an ancient one. And it might even be Trump or somebody like this, very important right now, that's associated with that sarcophagus or one of these sarcophaguses. This is something that should never have been disturbed with. And it's going to lead to a dark poison and plagues on our realm. Because all these necropolises have been disturbed, we're going to either have to colonize other rocks, other planets, other places in this physical realm, or we're going to have to upload ourselves into some sort of machine to save ourselves, because there will be nano machines that are like flying insects and flying reptiles that have been here before. Our technology is coming to that point where it's going to happen again, and they will bring plagues. They will bring nanobots that enter into your blood and attack your oxygen cells and attack you and mutate you and kill you from the inside out, and eat your body from the inside out. They're nanobots that look like flying reptiles, flying machines. They will bring plagues. It's a timeline that I've seen. It's a possible timeline that I've seen. And of course, we can change our timeline minute by minute by the choices we make. It's up to you, everybody. Now, to understand too the role of these Grigori in our thank you, Juju Cakes, too, with Lori Bruno episode. I did 2 episodes with Lori Bruno. Now I have my show on Truth Frequency Radio Network called the Eye of Ra. So you step inside the Eye of Ra every Saturday night, 7 to 9 Eastern. But before I did that show, and I've been doing Eye of Ra for 2 years now, at least, or something like that. Before I did Eye of Ra, I was on the Para X Radio Network, and I did that show Spiral Radio there. I have every Spiral Radio episode in the catalog for free on my website. So that is really mind-blowing. And pretty much most of them I have a guest every week, an hour a week. I did a few solo. Now I do my yeah, what's up, Masaki? Now I do my episodes a little different. I only have a guest maybe once a month, and I do the rest myself, but sometimes twice a month. But I have every episode from Spiral Radio available. Masaki's on a lot of those episodes. He's on my Eye of Ra. We're going to do another show soon. I'm going to be on his Patreon soon as well. And everybody, this is Masaki in the chat room where you see a Kaida TV right there. This is his pyramid. And still, you only have a day or 2 left, I think, that you can use the Summer 15 coupon code. Time is running out to use. The summer's dwindling down. You only got a day or 2 left. So this is the time to purchase one of those Nubian zombie slayers. So one of those Nubian masterpieces. And they're the most powerful pyramids that you could find on the planet. It's the most powerful one I've ever had. And I've been accessing our Hall of Records easier and more clear and more intense. And this one, being a rose quartz one, is very emotional for me. It brings out very, very ancient feelings within me. Even Misaki's smaller ones, like this one isn't a powered one, but this is a small little gold Giza. I have a tensor ring on top. Even these ones are really powerful. A lot of good energy. I have my own custom tensor tools as well on my website. That's really intense, and I have top of the line crystals. So definitely support us by checking us out. I will do on my website, if you buy one, you get one half price, as well as my readings. If you buy a crystal, get a reading half price. So let me remind you who these coded Grigori, these fallen angels, are. Like, I really do believe that they're some sort of coding that is designed as a protection system for our dimensional matrix. And they're guarding dimensional gateways. They're guarding spiritual technology. Like every time you draw a magical circle, or every time you have a sigil, you have to interface with these beings. And they were released from their prison that our universe, God, locked them down in, or had a certain council lock them down in. And that time is up. And now since the late 1700s, they've been plaguing the minds of humanity until they can take physical form again. And that's why the technology has been accelerating on our planet the way it is. Hold on one second. So that's why technology has been accelerating on our planet the way it has, because they're waiting for it to get to the point where they can take physical form again and they can rule on this planet again. And like I said, it's part of an ancient feline race that even it was part of this council that is watching over this Earth experiment. And there is a heavenly war going on over this. There's a multi-dimensional war going on over this. And I've talked about it over and over again. Now, when we take a look at who these Grigori actually, what they actually are and what they actually do, if you're doing any sort of magical work or spiritual energy work, the first time you cast a magic circle, you've already activated these beings within your psyche. The first time. When you go, now the reason why is because they're guarding this information. They're guarding what you're doing. They're guarding that circle. That circle is a gateway. That circle is a portal to another dimension. You're activating, you're developing an access point. And if that portal is powerful enough, or that circle is on a ley line or somewhere powerful, they are there to prevent you from they're there to interface with you, and they will allow it or not. And if not, for you to get access to something that they don't want you to have access to, there's got to be some sort of deal that's made. And sometimes you give them your body. Some people have done this. L. Ron Hubbard, I believe, did this. And when you're initiated into shamanism, you can call it the spirits took you. You can call it whatever you want to take you. The Grigori have taken you, and you are being brought out in front of a tribunal. The initiate is brought to a tribunal as your body is being taken apart, particle by particle, and being put back together again. You are being observed by a tribunal of these beings. And if you're worthy enough, if you've got enough spiritual power and spiritual energy, and you've got enough drive in you to be alive and to be a powerful force and not waste your energy, then you'll come back with more knowledge and with your sanity, and you'll come back alive. When your body is damaged so much that you're in a coma, or when people can be healthy and they just slip into a coma out of nowhere in their sleep. That is happening because of many things that could have went wrong, and most likely it's that you got lost and you got taken over with inside your higher dimensional brain by some of these entities, and you could get lost within sub-quadrant realms in the halls of Amenti. You can get corrupted looking for knowledge and get put in a labyrinth that you can never get out of. Your spiritual ego can get inflated within these halls if you're not grounded and you're inside them. It's very important you understand this. Now, Watchers, Fallen Ones, Grigori, they are manifested to guard your ritual circle, to guard the ceremonial portal that you're making. They're watching over your sacred altars to see what you're doing. They're guarding all spiritual technology. That's what they're there for. That's what they are. That's why they're called Watchers. They are the eyes of the night. They're watching over the stars, from the stars, They're watching from their watchtowers, right? And the Persians even had, they would call it the watchtowers, and it would be like they had all these different royal stars. Now, what I really want to talk about too now is very important. It's right inside the title that you see as well. And when you have certain times of the year, like the equinox and the solstice, these are certain ember days that I've talked about that are very powerful. There are, if you want to say, spiritual battles. Light and dark is clashing on these nights, on these days, on these times, on these shifts. Stars are interacting. These watchers are interacting. Certain star systems are beaming energy to certain spiritual sacred places on our planet and to our higher dimensional brain for certain reasons, giving us certain information, activating certain things within people, bringing asteroids to our realm, doing all sorts of things that you wouldn't think on certain times as this. And the time that we're coming up, I think, what's it going to be like? September 27th? Let me look it up. I don't even know when the vernal equinox is coming up. 23rd. Monday, September 23rd is going to be our vernal equinox. This is going to be, and this is information you're already going to hear right here. This is going to be a very important time, and we're going to be getting in some sort of stone from Aldebaran. I've been talking about this for years. This is going to be coming into our realm. A black stone or some sort of black stone from Aldebaran. And it will be coming in on the vernal equinox. It will be either, it's already here and it will be activated on that day. But this vernal equinox, we will be seeing the star Aldebaran be activated through something that's coming into our realm or within our realm. Good looking, Samuel. Yeah, Josh, I'm glad you're here. Everybody's here. I'm glad you caught this live, Josh. Thank you, everybody. We've been doing this like hour 17. Thank you, those who have supported me today in the chat room. The more support I get, the longer we can do this, and I can do this every day then. It's very important. We support each other, everybody out there. Thank you so much. If you guys would like a t-shirt, I'm on teespring.com, Raul Castaldo. That'll be on my website tonight. I just got it activated 2 days ago for payment. So I'm going to be putting that on my website as well as updating it as well. So I have crystals, tensor tools, everything available there. You could support me in the super chat. You can donate to my PayPal if you want to. I have products available, all of that. Thank you guys for supporting me always. And we're going to try to do this more often. I also do from time to time. I haven't been doing that many lately because I've been so busy doing getting all this information, trying to write my book and my comic book, raising my daughter with my wife. It's a lot of work. And, especially when we're surviving week to week, trying to eat, it's rough. So everybody out there knows how hard it is to get by in life just by yourself. So with a family, it's truly rough. And I really give everybody credit out there who's raising families, because it's not easy, especially when you know about the chaos that's going on around us and the possibilities of what can happen to your family, and how you have to protect them. It's so hard to worry about that. And I don't try to worry about it, but you try to do everything you can to protect and keep everybody you love safe. And in this world, it's getting harder and harder. And between vaccines and this and that, everything around you is designed to kill you and disconnect you and to bring a virus to your bioenergetic system, your bioenergetic field. Now, when it comes to the star Aldebaran in the Grigori, this is a royal star. This is the eye of God to the Grigori and to the ancients. They saw this as the eye of God. This is the red eye of Taurus, the eye of Aldebaran, right? Now, this is a very powerful ancient star that used to be a star of protection from evil, but also a star of evil. Some would use it as an amulet against it to protect against the evil, but it also can bring destruction and plagues to our realm. Now, I do believe that something is coming on this vernal equinox, and it's intense, and it is going to bring the watchers of the East to activate this spiritual technology that's coming. It could be in a plague, it could be whatever, but maybe there's a possibility if it gets in the right hands, it could be put to be accessed the other way for purposes to help us. So I do feel that it can happen, that if it gets in the right hands, we can do this. Now, first, let's before we go a little further, and we're gonna only continue just a few more minutes, because oh wow, Josh, you bought a Ben and Dante shirt, cool. Yeah, so I got t-shirts up now too. I got the Spiral Out t-shirts and my Dream Seer t-shirts, the Astral Soldier t-shirts. I just designed those actually myself, and my buddy Hawk did some of the did the drawing on the one. But I'm gonna also design. Mika might be able to design some too, if she has. She might have some time to help me. But she's good at designing clothes and makeup and all those things. So I'm gonna ask her to help me design some of them as well. And we're gonna make some women's, because right now it's unisex. Like anybody can have it, but we're gonna do like women's style t-shirts as well, probably, and sweatshirts, coffee mugs, all of this. I have Spiral Out ones available right now that has this Spiral Out written in the front, like black on white, a white t-shirt with black Spiral Out and cool lettering. And then on the back, right here on the back, right where your Lutz bone is, right where I have the Eye of Ra right there, there's an Eye of Ra symbol. You see how I have the Eye of Ra symbol right there? Well, there's an Eye of Ra symbol on the t-shirt right there as well. It's pretty dope. It's because when you look behind you and you're not seeing with these eyes anymore, and you're using your spiritual eyes, and you're looking from your almost like your heart center kind of, and you're looking behind you, that's how you can see into the other world, and that is my eye looking behind me. And it's also protection from the evil eye. It's protection from evil. And the ancient sun god Ra, my name that's my initials. R.A. is my initials, Ralph Anthony. That's my first name. But the actual sun god Ra, he was able to speak and see and talk telepathically with his eye. And that's what that Eye of Ra symbol also represents. It's the spiral Fibonacci formula within that symbol as well. And it's the golden ratio. It's the spiral galaxy. It's the spiral of you. It's the way it's a protection symbol. I don't use it as an evil. Some people can use it as an evil symbol if they want. Some people have used that to say that's the Illuminati, but it's not the Illuminati eye. Illuminati eye has all the rays coming out from it, and it's in the pyramid. So it's a little bit different. But you can demonize anything. People have demonized the word witch. People have demonized the word occult. Occult just means hidden. It doesn't mean black magic. As soon as someone hears occult, they think, oh, they're either a Satanist or they're fucking sacrificing babies. No, occult actually just means secret knowledge. Some of the occult is bad secret knowledge. Some of it is really amazing secret knowledge. So it's words get demonized, just like the word witch. A witch can be somebody that is in tune with the spiritual realms and within themselves, and is treating every living creature like they're one, and respecting the nature and living in harmony with the universe. Or a witch can be an ugly, grotesque baby eater. So people tend to think the witch is the latter. That I said it's some grotesque sucking the blood of babies at midnight type of being, and that's not necessarily what a witch is. It can be, but it's they've demonized it. People have that just shows you where the world is now. They tend to go towards the more grotesque version of things. Now, we went pretty deeply into the Grigori and what they are, and what I believe and what I've seen that they are, and how it's not wise to interface with these beings at all. So casting a magic circle is not wise. What's your point? Why are you doing this? Is there something that you need to obtain that you can't do without trying to cast some sort of spiritual technology to manipulate your way? Now, if you're doing some sort of ritual to heal a spiritual sickness that's come over you, there's no need to cast a ritual circle for that. There's no need to draw a magic circle for that. No need. So, of course, you might think that I would say something completely different than that, knowing my background. And I think people have the wrong idea of what a strega can possibly be when it's a benedante. They magically think that, or automatically, think that we're doing some sort of evil casting spells. But my lineage are not spell makers; they are spell breakers. Okay, we learn how to find the fingerprint of your spiritual sickness, the residue of what caused it, and find that little line to the source, the root of it all, and then tear that root out and give you new energy. Let some replenished energy come in. A lot of it has to do with just, we can go to the beach and put you on the sand and do some sort of little symbolic ritual with seashells and other things, and let the ocean tide take away the evil in your body and take it away from you. Now, there's all sorts of things that we can do like that, and I could show people how to do, at least, because you're not here, in the same place. You could be all over, but I could show people, and this is the difference. Now, I have two other things I wanted to go into before we stop for today. Now, what's interesting is that I talked about the vernal equinox. I've talked about Aldebaran. Now, first of all, Aldebaran is the very, very amazing looking red star, kind of pale red, that's in the left eye of Taurus, which is the bull, which is a very powerful Stargate, if you want to say, where avatars come in to help our world. People that are born under Taurus, Leo, and some other signs, Scorpio, some other signs. I think it's Taurus, Leo, some other. There's like 4 of those signs that it's pretty heavy. That when they come in, certain avatars come in. What I mean by avatars, beings that have already completed their spiritual journey on this planet and went to a higher dimension, higher realm, but then they chose to come back down into this physical realm again to inspire that spiritual evolution and creativity in other people and to help save our race. So Taurus, people that are under Taurus are some of these people. That's why some of them feel like uh, they don't belong here in this realm. That they feel like they're done with this. Why are they here? They can't even believe this there's a planet like this that even exists with this evil. Like, how is this here? How are we here? Like, I don't understand. I don't belong here. Like, some of them feel like that because they don't. There's something that some sort of technology that has taken away our knowledge of our spiritual mission at birth or in the womb. So we're like not understanding why we're here or what's going on, and you feel like you've been through this already, and you know, why should you have to go through this again? It's like you don't realize what you actually chose and decided to come here for. You've been a veil has been put in front of you and your mission, you know. So in very, very old times, this was one of the most important stars in the world, Aldebaran, especially to mystics and the occult. And this is the pale, like I said, ruby star, and it was known as the Eye of God, literally. This was the Eye of God. This is where uh, God spoke from. This constellation and this place. You know, things came, messages came from Aldebaran. Um, Aldebaran is one of these guardian stars, cardinal royal stars. The Persians called them the royal stars, and there are four of them in the ancient times. Four guardian royal stars, and Aldebaran is one of them. It is the watcher of the east, the 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 Grigori of the general of the east. Now, well, also guys too in the chat room, if people want to, we could do like little 5-minute readings in the chat room for people that want to put their birthdays in. If they want to donate $5 or something like that, we could donate like little $5 5-minute readings in the chat room. We could start doing that. You know, it might be a good idea if people want to do that with their, all they got to do is like give me their birthday or something like that. Might not be able to do that right now. We've already been talking for an hour and a half. I've been talking. So, I mean, we can, if I take like a little break maybe, but let me see. I'm just reading the chat room and everything. But let me give you a little bit of information on Aldebaran too. You know, from ancient Strege underground and what the lore and the occult is, and the information from the occult and from our holographic universe. You know, this of course, like I said, is it's the number one of all stars in the ancient world, and this is because at that time Taurus was the first of the star signs at that time. Before Aries had replaced, had taken that spot over. You know, Aries took that spot over, but at one time Taurus was the first. Aldebaran is right beneath or south of the ecliptic, and it is in the path of the moon. And it's one of the lunar mansions, one of the 28 mansions of the moon. And this is a very powerful experience. And when people are connecting on the vernal equinox and to this star, and there is some sort of ritual going to take place on this vernal equinox with various elite forces that they are waiting to activate something that has to do with a black stone. And I've seen this, and there's, like I said, there could be destructive qualities, but this is usually the ritual has to do with some sort of ruby or great red gem. It could even be used with red granite. So if you see symbolism for rubies, or one eye as a ruby, or the X in the eye, this is Aldebaran. Aldebaran's sigil, if you want to say, is an X with a circle at the end of each point of the X. You know, there's various ones that are like this. Even Hercus is like this, but Hercus is a more steep X like this. Aldebaran is an X like this. Hercus is more like this. So Aldebaran is like a real X, like a perfect X, and with an open circle at the end of each point of the X. So this is very mystical, very intense. These are rituals that it will be a symbolism for rituals that are Aldebaran rituals. Uh, yeah, it's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Yeah, these are. Yeah, you remember from the class, Jessica. That's good. So yeah, so it's these are the avatar star symbols, that people are coming in through our realm to help others. They're coming to help inspire others. Uh, um, wow, that's got a 500 carat raw ruby. Wow. So uh, back in ancient times, they would do spells that involved even drawing certain people or soldiers, warriors on a certain parchment or something like this. When they're on a horse and they're holding snakes in their hands, and the seal of Aldebaran with that X was usually put with like uh, on top of that parchment with like red myrrh and perfume and all this stuff on there, and storax and all of this, and then it's buried where the curse was desired to take place. They would bury it there, and this would break curses or make curses or protect from curses. Uh, Now, what's very interesting is that the influence, the desired influence for Aldebaran, if you're making and doing a spell for Aldebaran, or doing some sort of vernal equinox ritual for Aldebaran, then you're doing it for several reasons. You're trying to do some sort of mining. You're trying to get some sort of information from wells or some sort of sacred fountain or some sacred body of water or some sort of construction, some sort of building is being demolished or constructed. Uh, there's mining taking place, some sort of things like this. This is what it has to do with. And this is just what I was talking about with the cynocephaly. And these cynocephaly are connected to Sirius. It's why they call Sirius, one of the reasons why they call Sirius the dog star. And in fact, they have an ancient war that took place between this dog race of the cynocephaly and the Argonauts, like Jason and the Argonauts. It's known, and it's in all sorts of reports of ancient history. Now, they were created by the Grigori, by the Watchers, who, when they took physical form in this realm, they mated and mixed their DNA with all species on this planet. And they are remnants. There's all remnants of this, and there were pockets of this. So uh, maybe we can go live later on tonight again. We'll see what happens. You guys definitely inspire me by supporting me in the chat room. Thank you so much, everybody. Those who put your I do definitely hopefully we go live again, because I wanted to talk about resurrection from the dead garments. And in fact, I found an ancient, I was led. In fact, I woke up with just this urge to open this book, and then I was read to part of the Talmud where Queen Cleopatra is actually talking to an ancient rabbi, and she's asking him, it says in the Bible that the dead shall even be resurrected. It says in Psalms, in one of the Psalms, it says in Psalms that that they of the city shall flourish like grass of the earth, and they'll be resurrected from the dead. And if they're resurrected from the dead, will they be clothed in garments? She's asking this rabbi these questions, Queen Cleopatra, and it led me to this is something that I was accessing in the halls of Amenti, leading me, showing me spiritual signs so I can figure some things out and activate some information within me. It's so when you're dreaming, when you wake up with information, it's for a reason. It's very important that you pay attention. It's very important. So yeah, we'll get into that next time because it's already been almost like an hour and 45 minutes. I think we're gonna do another show later on for sure. I have some other things I wanted to relay to you guys, but it was very powerful information that I was talking about this afternoon. Um, who else is in there? So definitely, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to either my Patreon or right here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You can subscribe for my Patreon. $2 get you in the door, and the higher platforms get you more. That's the deal. And my website, like I was saying before, I have all information on there for my Spiral Radio. Now the show is called Truth Frequency. Now the show is on Truth Frequency Radio. It's called Eye of Ra, and it's a 2-hour show on Saturday nights, 7 and 9 Eastern. It'll be tomorrow night. What else? Josh, thank you for coming in the chat room, buddy. I'll see you later. Go back to work. I'm glad you stopped in. Thank you for spending your break and your time with me. I'm very honored that you chose to take your break and watch me and listen and hang out. Thank you for participating in the chat. Anybody that's donated, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for supporting. It's been a long road, and I've been giving information and helping others, doing readings for people. I even did readings for free for many, many years. So it's all starting to come back around. We're all starting to find our soul family again. And yeah, so Jay, if anybody wants to contact me in the chat room, you can email me. I could do little email readings for people. We'll do a chat room for this. We'll do like a donate a couple dollars, you get a couple minute reading or something like that. We'll do something like that either later on or the next day. We'll get it done soon. But I have a lot more I wanted to talk about today. So we're gonna do that maybe either later on tonight or something like that, because it's already been a while. We've been on here, but very interesting talk today. I think we relayed a lot of information. I wanted to get more into the Council of Nine and this ancient feline race next time. Very ancient race, and some of the sites that I've been on, and some of the red granite that I've been researching, and some of the information that I feel is stored within it. This is very important, and the vernal equinox is going to be a very important time for people to pray and meditate and we have to try to find and get the right hands on certain things that are coming and happening on that day. And I have so much stuff that I had written down that I wanted to share, and I went down a whole other route too. But there's other shows we can do for sure. But like I said, it's very crucial for me to be doing this now. There's no other choice. We have to learn about who we are. Guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you, whoever supported me, whoever's been listening. Thank you for spending the time with us. We'll see you next time. And Spiral out.